Hey guys, this is Jason, and this is my review for No One Will Save You, directed by Duffield, and is a new alien invasion movie on Hulu. In case if you don't know who Duffield is, he's known for being a writer for films like The Babysitter, Underwater, and Love and Monsters. And it is about a girl named Bryn, played by Katlyn Devor, who lives by herself in this house in the woods, and she's very distant from everyone around her. And then aliens come to her house, and she tries to barricade the whole house and defend herself from the aliens, as well as overcoming a terrible moment that happened to her in her past. I wasn't interested in seeing this film because I wasn't very interested in watching the film despite the trailer being released. It did kind of get me interested, but didn't make me want to go, oh, this is so cool, I want to see this movie right now. Like, I didn't have that when I watched the trailer, but then people started talking about it more and I got interested. And when the movie first came out on Hulu, it looked like a lot of critics really liked the film, but audience members, not so much. And that got me pretty curious. So I got more curious about wanting to watch this film with those facts in mind, and I gotta say, this is a pretty good alien invasion movie. It's very unpredictable. It does some things that are more different than your average alien invasion movie, because most of this film doesn't have any dialogue. I mean, sure, there are a couple of times where characters would say some lines very quietly, but 94% of this movie is just screaming, alien sounds, and loud noises, and barely any dialogue, and all you got is visual storytelling. The cinematography is also a highlight. It is very well shot, like it shows certain shots that are supposed to build up the tension, giving the atmosphere and the lighting a very creepy feel when the aliens are out looking for Bryn. I thought Katlyn Devor did a pretty good job as Bryn. She doesn't say much. She's a very silent character, and she really has to do a lot of acting with her facial expressions and pantomiming, giving the audience a chance to understand what she's saying just from her facial expressions and her movement. Now, I could get into more of her that makes her more of an interesting character, but that leads to spoilers, so all I'll say is she reveals a little bit about herself as the film progresses. Now, for me, I do have some issues with it, and there are times whenever we see the aliens on screen and they get close-ups and you see more of what they look like, it can kind of lose the tension a bit, because they're well lit in some scenes. Even though those scenes are at night, you can see what they look like, and you can really tell it's just CGI, and at times it can be pretty noticeable. And the designs they went with were kind of basic. Like, they didn't do a whole lot with the designs except for one, which we do see later in the film. And that part kind of disappointed me, because when you have a movie like this, you wouldn't want to show the aliens a lot. You would just have to hide what they look like just to build up the fear factor and the terror that it's supposed to have. A few good examples like that are movies like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where you don't really see what the aliens look like until the third act, when they show up and have this big light shining on them. Another good example is the xenomorph from Ridley Scott's Alien. Yes, you do see what it looks like in the film, but it's really not in the film that much. You don't see a lot of what it looks like. You only get like close-ups of its face, and you only see like a medium shot of him, and most of the time he's just covered in the shadow so that you don't really tell that it's just a guy in a rubber suit. Another good example is Signs. Yes, you do kind of see the aliens in the film, but not a whole lot. You only get like parts like the famous birthday party news report scene, or in the very end when the alien has the kid and he's got shadows covering him. Here, they don't cover them in the shadows a lot, unfortunately. You see a lot of what they look like. Even in some of the darker rooms that they're in, you can still see the details and the CGI, and it does kind of mess up some of the suspense. Does it ruin the whole movie as a whole? Absolutely not. It's still a really fun movie. It's just that I would have liked it if they hid the aliens a little more. Now to talk about the ending without going into spoiler territory, it actually has some things that give you questions. It makes you want to think about what you just saw, and it makes you want to analyze for what they were going for with this ending. And that is the biggest praise I can give this film. It gives you questions that you would want to think about for a long time. No One Will Save You is a very unconventional movie with really good directing, really good cinematography, a great performance from the main lead using her facial expressions and her body movements. It's suspenseful, terrifying, and it has a very creepy atmosphere. If you have Hulu and you want to watch a movie that's very unconventional and very different, then watch No One Will Save You. It's definitely worth your time. Now, before I give this movie my grade, I just want to mention one last thing. Do you hear the thing where people are tired of Hollywood doing the same type of movie over and over again and just recycling other things they already did and not doing enough original stuff? Those people don't really watch a lot of movies then, because there are some times where Hollywood does something original like this. Not all the time, but sometimes they do. And when Hollywood does make something original, people just hate it and think it's too different. I know that does kind of sound harsh when I say it, but it's sadly true. I'm gonna give No One Will Save You a B+. So guys, if you have watched No One Will Save You, what did you think about it? Did you think it was an amazing sci-fi alien movie, or do you think this movie was boring and you weren't engaged with it? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like this review, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Hit the notification bell so you know what other videos I'm posting. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.